Good evening, everybody, or good morning, or afternoon, as it may be. My name is Dredd, and this is Miss Valley Entertainment News, and welcome to my very first video that I'm putting out on the Star Wars Ahsoka TV series. Now, as I record this, we are on. Oh God, we're still like 5 days away from Ahsoka Episode 8. I was gonna wait until the show was completely done and then go back and do a recap of all the episodes. That was gonna be my first stab at Ahsoka. I'm still planning on doing that, but this is my first episode, my first uh, video, as it is, talking about the Ahsoka series. And I wanted to talk about this because something clicked, something came to me after watching the first 7 episodes, and here we go. This is what my mind came up with. So here is my prediction for Ahsoka Episode 8. By no means will this, at least 100%, actually happen. I sincerely hope a lot of it does. But I guess I'm looking at it as this is what I think makes sense, and this is how I would write the episode if I could. So Episode 8 would start off with Ahsoka and Ezra and Sabine talking. By the way, spoilers, if you haven't watched Ahsoka, first of all, I don't know why you're watching this video, but thank you. If you're planning on going and watching it later and you don't want spoilers, you probably shouldn't watch this video. I would imagine most of you who are clicking on this are Ahsoka fans, so bear with me as I fanboy a little bit, okay? So the episode would start off with Ahsoka and Ezra and Sabine talking. Ahsoka would forgive Sabine, tell her that as long as they stop Thrawn from getting back to the known universe, then all will be okay. Sabine, of course, be very relieved because she went against what Ahsoka asked her to do. And Ezra would be like, wait, what? Thrawn is going to get away from here? Now, surprisingly, as Sabine finally opens up with him and explains to him exactly what she did, Ezra shrugs it off as no big deal, which really surprises Sabine, who says, really? I thought you'd be pissed at me. Ezra says, no, not at all. We just need to stop Thrawn from leaving, so let's go. Hurries them all up. They would all jump in Ahsoka's ship and head towards the Night Sisters Tower, where the Chimera ship, Thrawn's ship, is still kind of hovering over it. Meanwhile, we would then go to Balin. Walking across the planet, he'd come to an even more barren and dark and dead part of the world. No life whatsoever. And in the middle of this, he finds a temple. Maybe it's underground, I don't know. He would smile a little bit to himself and nod and step into it, walk through it, carefully looking around, finding really nothing but dust. He would come to a central antechamber, all dark and shadowy and massive overhead. Stands in the center and looks around. There's some ancient, evil-looking carvings, very spooky. Hears a faint noise from out of the shadows, and he lights up his lightsaber, the orange glow lighting up his face. Peers into the shadows of one wall, walks forward slowly, lifts the lightsaber higher. It cuts through with the light through the deep shadows, and he sees a figure. Someone is chained to the wall, looking more dead than alive. The figure whispers, "Help me." He steps forward one more step, and in the orangey red glow of his lightsaber, the figure raises its head. It is Ezra Bridger. Back on board the Chimera, they're beginning to fire up the 7 engines of the Eye of Sion. Ahsoka and Sabine and Ezra jump out of Ahsoka's ship and enter the Night Mother's temple, trying to get all the way up to the top. So they begin an assault on the Night Troopers in there, trying to reach the ship, which is preparing to take off. Huang is attacking the Chimera with Ahsoka's ship, and also being chased by TIE fighters as well. The Night Sisters are on the bridge with Morgan Elsbeth and Thrawn, and the Night Sisters are actively controlling the Night Troopers, raising them from the dead as our heroes cut them down. And Thrawn is busy running all kinds of delaying tactics on the group. In a brief lull in the action, Ezra complains that this is taking too long. We have to make sure Thrawn doesn't leave without us, he says, and Sabine and Ahsoka both shoot him startled glances. As they near the top of the tower where they can transition to Thrawn's ship, Shin Hati appears. She is fighting on Thrawn's side. Meanwhile, we go back to Balin in the temple. He is freeing the chained Ezra and looking at him, demanding, "Is it you who has been calling me? Are you the one with the power to end this cycle of pain and destruction? Are you the promised one who will bring balance and give me the inner peace I crave? And why is there someone else on this planet with your face?" And Ezra groans, weakened in pain, and he tells him, "You're a fool if you think power will end anything. Power always corrupts, and the corruption leads to the evil of the dark side, where only pain and misery awaits." Balin sinks back, a look of horror on his face. "No, you lie," he says. But his facial expression shows that he knows. Ezra has told him the truth. Balin has been duped. Ezra explains that it is the Son, the embodiment of the evil of the dark side, who has been trapped on this planet for eons and seeks a way to get away from it. He captured Ezra very early in Ezra's time here and has been masquerading as Ezra ever since, perfecting his disguise as a good guy, but not before tearing through Thrawn's troopers with vicious and evil intent. Which is why Thrawn's troopers are now night troopers. They're raised from the dead. Thrawn knows what Ezra is. Because the Night Mothers know who was trapped on this planet with them. It is a source of their power, after all, and also the reason they want to get away. Thrawn attempted to capture the Son in Ezra form, but instead just got nearly all of his troopers killed. Next thing we see is Ezra using his animal force abilities to call two howlers over to him and Balin, and the two right away from the temple. In the top of the Night Sisters Tower, the battle rages on, with Shin Hati's ferociousness keeping the Jedi from advancing further. Battle lust is upon her, and she is nearly unstoppable. Ezra says something else about needing to go home, and Ahsoka and Sabine again are looking at him all sideways, thinking, something just isn't right here. But they're a little busy with the battle to really do much more than that. Ahsoka offers him one of her lightsabers, and again he declines, says that the Force is his weapon. Of course, the real reason that the Son in Ezra form does not use Ezra's lightsaber, or any lightsaber, is because he cannot mimic the fighting style of Ezra. Therefore, the gig would be up, people would know he's not Ezra. Balin charges into the battle, the bedraggled and gaunt Ezra with him. Some shocked moments quickly ensue. Balin is enraged and charges at the Son, still remaining in Ezra's form, engaging him one-on-one. This gives a brief battle respite, whatever you want to call it, to the others. They realize that the new Ezra is the real Ezra. He hugs Sabine with tears flowing, and then he pulls back and kisses her passionately, and she responds in turn. Ahsoka looks on, grinning and nodding. And Shin is watching everything unfold from a little distance with a very confused look on her face. The Son throws Balin back, and Balin smashes against the wall and lays still. As the Son gloats and monologues about how he is the power of the dark side, and he will be free of this prison at last, Shin crouches over Balin, staring at him. Ahsoka approaches and takes a knee. Balin looks at Shin and murmurs, "I was wrong, Shin. Flee the darkness within you. It will only bring you pain and destruction. The lure of that darkness caused me to leave you behind. I abandoned my own daughter when you needed me the most. I am so sorry. It isn't power that is important. It is family and a sense of belonging that brings true peace." And so Balin passes away. Ahsoka puts a hand on Shin's shoulder and says, "I am so sorry for your loss." Shin looks like she doesn't know whether to cry or to bolt. She is trembling hard. Then, Anakin's Force Ghost appears to Ahsoka. He reminds her that he is the father now, and she is the daughter, and only together can they defeat the Son. Ahsoka stands up and nods, and Anakin nods back and says, "I knew you could do this. This is what I trained you for, Ahsoka. War." Or perhaps he would say, "This is what I trained you for, Snips. War." As Anakin's Force Ghost lights up his saber, he fluctuates between Anakin and Vader for a bit. Anakin's Force Ghost engages the sun in combat. As Ahsoka joins the fight, an owl is briefly seen over her head, the sign of the daughter. The sun begins to lose his hold on his ability to look like Ezra, and he begins to fluctuate back and forth between the sun and Ezra. Eventually, the two defeat him, and as he falls and disappears, perhaps with only his clothing left behind in a pile, he unleashes a blast of dark side energy, which rocks Thrawn's ship, causing pieces of it to fall right off, and absolutely destroys the Eye of Sion. I would imagine Huang and his ship is rocked back and forth but manages to control things. Ezra remarks that the sun isn't actually dead, he has merely gone back to his temple to lick his wounds. Sabine tells Ezra that she is so sorry that she cannot get him home, and he replies that it is all right, all he really needs is his family, and they all hug. Huang makes some clueless remark on the radio about wondering what the heck has been going on. Everybody grins. Shin is watching from a slight distance, her lightsaber lit, in a defensive position. Then she glances back down at Balin's body, and her head lowers, and she powers off her lightsaber and just stands there. We cut back to the known universe, where Zeb and Hera and Jason are approached by Luke Skywalker, who says he has a message from Ahsoka in the Force. They are needed in another universe. There is a fight, and Ezra and company need all the experienced rebels that they can get to help them out. Hera tears the patch off her jacket and says if the government isn't ready to let her help her friends, then she quits being a general. Luke suggests he knows a way to get them to where they need to go, but they will need help. Captain Carson Teva approaches, says he thinks he knows someone who can help them. Cut to a scene of Mando and Grogu relaxing on the porch of their new home, and fade to black. Fade back in. We've got Thrawn on the bridge of the Chimera, which is partially on fire. He helps Morgan Elsbeth to her feet, looks over at the Night Mothers who are curled up on the floor, whimpering in pain with green smoke coming off of them, and sighs. This is only the first salvo, he says. They think they have won here, but all they have really done is delay my inevitable victory by giving me even more information about my enemies and my allies. The end. And as an extra, next season of Mandalorian, Captain Carson Teva approaches Mando and hires him on behalf of the Republic to retrieve something. These orders come directly from Leia Organa. He needs to retrieve an ancient star map to another universe, but in order to find it, Mando and Grogu need to hunt down Cal Kestis. I just wrapped up the whole series and made it make sense. Give you an opening right into the next season of Mandalorian and basically let you know that the second season of Ahsoka, all the rebels are going to be together in this other universe fighting the darkness of the sun, fighting Thrawn, both. It opens up everything. And maybe the star map that they find through Cal Kestis and bring back, whether or not Cal comes with them, I don't know. Whether Mando and Grogu come with them, I don't know. Probably. Maybe Boba Fett comes with them. Maybe Black Chrysanthemum comes with them. Could be a bunch of other people that we've seen lately in Star Wars all jump into the Hera's ship, lost the name of it now, the Ghost. And off they all go, following this new star map that Cal has dug up, and off they go to this new universe. Maybe the star map is good enough that it actually shows them some other planets and things there and how to get there. Other planets full of people. Maybe that the sun and his dark side power start radiating out through the universe, even though he's trapped. Maybe he creates minions who can leave. Maybe a new kind of dark side user, other than the Night Mothers, who can leave that planet, go to other planets, and cause issues. It just opens up literally a new universe for the cast of Rebels and others to play in. It is literally the Filoniverse. Is this going to happen? No. I mean, I don't have the script. Could some of it happen? Yes. Should some of it happen? I want to say yes, but honestly, I will have to trust Dave Filoni to not make a mess of this last episode and not leave us not leave us wanting more in a bad way, right? So, Ahsoka episode 8. Watch it and let me know what you thought of. Did I get anything right at all? I don't know. We'll find out. But it's not so much about getting things right. It's actually coming up with things that make sense. I think the thing with Ahsoka up till now is we've been grasping at all kinds of things and trying to figure out what's going on. The one thing we just kind of accepted on a level is, oh wow, Ezra's back. This is so cool. Oh, the actor is so good portraying Ezra. But he's got the chain mail made out of stormtrooper dog tags. Did Ezra go and kill hundreds of stormtroopers and he's still his happy-go-lucky self living with the local inhabitants? Something is off. Even in just his comments about, oh, I want to go home. Oh, I feel like we're close to going home now. Something is off. There's a certain eagerness. I think his first thoughts would be making sure Thrawn doesn't get back, and he's never said a word about that. That tells me something is wrong with Ezra, which led me down this path of, hey, maybe Ezra's not Ezra. Filoni is a master at red herrings and redirecting people. He is a fucking legend already. I trust Dave Filoni until I don't, right? Until he ruins things, I trust him. And I hope he never ruins things. Honest to God. I like what he's doing. I've liked what Jon Favreau has done too. He's been up and down, hit and miss, and he's had a lot more interference, I think, than Filoni ever got on the Ahsoka show. I think Favreau had a lot of Disney interference that kept changing things on him and messing things up for him. But I think both of these men working together can tell some amazing stories going forward 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. And they can let Disney play in their corner of Star Wars, and people who like what the Disney does can go watch that. People who like what Filoni and Favreau do can go watch that, and they can both happen independently. And it makes sense. So I hope you like this video. I appreciate you dropping in to check it out. I love me some Star Wars. I talk about it all the time on my Discord, Miss Valley Discord. Feel free to join up if you want. No pressure. And I love to have discussions there about all kinds of things. You can also catch all my videos there, not only for Miss Valley Entertainment News, but Miss Valley Gaming and Miss Valley Skyrim. Everybody, my name is Dread. For Miss Valley Entertainment News, catch y'all later. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.